What's up, folks? Welcome back to the podcast. It is June 29th. It's been 3 or 4 weeks since I've done a podcast. I just haven't had the time. I've been trying to stay busy, and when I'm not busy, I've just been trying to spend time with the kids. Did a little garden work. We've done a food plot. We went fishing. Didn't have much luck. Kind of looked like somebody had went there, and it's one of them small creeks where you can see the bottom, so like you can kind of see what's going on and spot fish. And every year I've ever been there, and every time I've ever been there, I've caught a ton of smallmouth, and usually over a dozen or over a half dozen to a dozen really nice ones. Nothing giant, because we just don't have those past 5 pounds, very common. But yeah, it just kind of seemed like somebody went in there and took them all out to eat or something, which I've seen that happen before. Over at Spring Creek, I've got a couple spots I fish, and I actually got stopped by a CO, and he was super friendly. But we were, this is one I've never seen also, by the way. It's not like a local. But this guy was super nice, and he informed me that he had stopped somebody there, and that's why he stopped me, because this guy was taking way over his limit on smallmouth, and he was taking them home and eating them. So he, that guy kind of cleared out that spot pretty bad. But hopefully, the officer catching him maybe put an end to it. But that's kind of what I was worried about in this other spot. I know a lot of people fish it, but most people catch and release there. I always have. It just kind of sucked. I really was hoping the kids would have a lot of fun and get to catch a lot of fish, and the bite was so scarce that just about everything on video is what we caught. Most of the kids kind of caught one right there at the beginning or didn't catch one at all, and that was kind of it. But it was a good time. We're in the process of getting the duckweed out of my pond. I've done it a couple times, and it just will not stay away. So if y'all have any solutions for that, let me know. I'd hate to have to buy $200-300 in chemicals. I don't like using chemicals. I'm not a fan. Somebody told me a bunch of goldfish would work, but I don't know how many goldfish it's going to take to knock out. I don't know. It's probably a 1/6 or 1/5 of an acre, I would say. It's probably not any bigger than that. It's a fairly small pond. It's just kind of, it's my childhood pond. I grew up. They developed this pond right when I was a kid. So I've watched it come to life. I've watched the moss come in. I've watched trees grow around it, and a couple times it's literally engulfed in trees. And whenever I bought the place, I came in, I cleaned it up, and I've been kind of fighting it ever since then. I don't have a chainsaw, so I usually got to borrow one or something. But it's one of those things I'm just going to have to invest in and get me one. I've done a lot of by hand cutting, and it's whatever, but it's just not where it's at. And then it greens up usually before we get the project done, and it becomes a mess, and that's what happened again. This is like the 3rd or 4th year in a row doing that. So it's kind of a bummer, but we do have some good crappie in there. We got 4 or 5 catfish in there, and some bait fish, which is one of the things me and the kids are going to do this summer, is just take little trips down to the creek, catch a bunch of minnows, which our minnows are anywhere from 3 inches to almost 12 inches, like some really massive chub minnows around here and shiners. And figure we can just go down there, the kids can have some fun, we can fill up the bucket, we can come here, we can throw them all in the pond, and that'll feed the majority of the fish that are in there, so that they're not eating all my tadpoles and all my lizards and whatever else, or newts, as some people don't know that they're called. But yeah, it's been a wild year. I mean, not just for me or my family, but it's just been weird. Like, politics are out there. They tried to sell, or whatever you want to call it, like over 3 million acres of public land recently, and the amount of outdoorsmen who are pissed is pretty high. I'm not seeing the action I would like to see from outdoorsmen. I think they're a little too relaxed in this modern day world. Maybe a lot of them didn't even know. Like my dad, I can go talk to him, and I guarantee he didn't even know any of this was going on, because they sneak this stuff. It should be front page news, and they just don't talk about it like they should. And essentially, they were going to sell a lot. A lot of people have been pissed. We've been calling Mike Lee, who is definitely the enemy of the state. This guy says he's going to change the bill. changes it up, and apparently it was targeting higher value public land. which essentially would be like say if it was here in Indiana and it was in my area, it would be at the lake, and it would be like the high value areas that are public against the lake, but right next to already developed, very uppity, we'll say, neighborhoods where people's houses are, anywhere from 300,000 to 5 million, roughly. Tons of $1 million houses around our lake. It's just not good for the world. It's not good for us as people. Selling off more public land and giving us less would make no sense. But it appears that has been avoided. The claim is that it was thrown out off the chopping block. No public lands are being sold. I don't know if it was a big distraction. I feel like it was. I honestly feel like this was a distraction. You distract a specific group of people and make them fight for one thing and then take it off their last second as if it was never on there. Seemed like a distraction to me, but we'll see. In this little weird world we live in, it seems like a little bit of time and everything comes to light pretty quick. Yeah. Super early in the morning, so I'm a little scatterbrained. I literally just woke up. I can't talk either because I am slightly tongue-tied and never had that adjusted. So you guys see me fuck up my words. That's what that is. It is what it is. Other than that, the reason I'm doing this early is because during the day, it's freaking well over 90 degrees all week. Ever since it was officially summer this past weekend, it has been miserably hot. So like my garage is unbearable past like 10 or 11 a.m. You really can't be out here hanging out. I've tried to edit up some videos so y'all get some videos, but like the fishing video, I can't talk. Like the fishing video I just produced, a little waiting video with my kids. I sweat my ass off sitting out here editing that so that you guys could see that. And I don't get paid from YouTube. I don't get paid from anything. This is just a man throwing out his dreams, hoping one day, it'll catch. But yeah, it was miserable. And my computer's, not that it's slow, but with editing and all that stuff, it's a slow process to do it correctly. And I could obviously get better. But I think it was 2 or 3 times I had to come out here. I had to keep going back inside completely drenched and then like calm down, cool off, get something to drink, and then I'd come back out and I'd do another chunk of it. So for those of you who do appreciate it, we appreciate you watching. It literally is hard work. It is not just me going out fishing and throwing a video up for you guys. It's a lot of work. I got to sit out here. I don't have the money for an extra AC to put in my garage, which I need, but I don't have that kind of spare money laying around, and I got a crow's nest where I've just moved all my editing stuff so that it can be quiet. I'm away from the family. I'm not bothering nobody. They're not bothering me. Nobody's running. There's no distractions. I can think. However, I've got to deal with the heat. So in the winter, I've got to be frozen. I'm literally bundled up like I'm hunting, editing, and then in the summer, I'm pouring sweat. So I appreciate y'all for actually watching. Appreciate everybody who actually keeps coming back. It's a very slow growing channel. I actually think that my original channel before I deleted it was doing better than this one. I don't know if what I say is my my roadblock or what. I haven't figured out this algorithm this time to get things really rolling, but I will eventually with all y'all's help, hopefully. This is my old recurve. I'd like to talk about my new recurve. Obviously, it's still strung. I know you're not supposed to store them like that. I know this, but I've never once taken that off, and I've had it since, man, way back. I've had this bow for over a decade, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm almost 90% sure I've had that for over a decade. I remember the day that it came into my life. I was fishing with a guy who is no longer a buddy. He's a woman-beaten loser. But at the time, I didn't know anything about him. He was a friend of a friend, so we started talking. He was a pathological liar. This dude ended up going to the Army, beating his woman, dishonorable discharge after being in like military jail. Piece of work. Then he gets out and beats some more women because he's a piece of crap. But yeah, so this guy, we're sitting there fishing, and he's like, "Hey man, I got this recurve if you want to do a trade for it." And I'm just like, "Well, what's it look like, you know?" And I think I'd already looked at this exact model. It's kind of a cheap model. It's the Jaguar, you know, back in the day. It's not even anything popular now. I was just like, hell, you know, I kind of always wanted a recurve. I grew up shooting a compound PSE from, I think it was Stevens East Side, if I remember right. Way back when I was a kid. I remember my dad taking me there. We got it set up. I was super ecstatic because I'd been going there for years with my dad, watching him get his stuff tuned, or, you know, his arrows cut, or shooting that. Used to have a 3D range. And then obviously just look at the mounts. It's like going into a mini Bass Pro. You know what I mean? And I'm a big taxidermy guy ever since I was a little kid. I love taxidermy. I love animals. I love hunting. So, I mean, you throw in all these aspects together, and then you just end up with a person like me. So, I grew up shooting a compound PSE, no sights, shooting with a glove, fingers, you know, all that. Like, literally just instinctive, looking down the shaft, and I was good. Out to, I think, 50 yards, like I hit a skull can back whenever I was a kid. And it was, like, real consecutive. But the problem was, whenever I would get into the actual situation of hunting, I would mess up and get target panic, or I would get buck fever, and then I would miss my target, obviously, or I'd wound them lightly. I never really wounded too many deer when I was a kid, like mortally. It was usually like scratches or just bad spots that weren't going to kill them. So I taught myself, you know, over time to control that. And my dad always told me, you can get sights and all that once you have killed a deer instinctively. So when I finally did, it kind of changed everything. I did go to sites, and I started changing bows, started buying my own bows, and started with pawn shops. And then actually, I think the first one from a bow shop was somewhere up in Greenwood, and it was a, what was that? A Hoyt Rampage XT. And I liked the bow, liked the name, looked nice. The limbs are crap. They aren't made right, so they split a lot. I've seen a lot of that with Hoyt, and the let-off was absolute trash. Like my anchor point used to be I'd put my thumb kind of like behind my earlobe, and it would jerk away from me like all the time. So I did kill a big buck with that, and I killed one or two does, and I eventually just said, I just don't like this bow. So switched. I ended up with a Bear Legion from Dick's Sporting Goods. And it was awesome. Should have never sold it, but it was slower. I wanted to upgrade. Got another one. Didn't like it as much. I forget the model. You know, I'm rambling. But basically, let me get a sip here. Go back to the recurve talk. So that's how I got into that situation of wanting a recurve. And this guy says, oh, hey, I'll do a trade. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I was a tattoo artist. I am a tattoo artist. Always have been. Going on 20 years next summer. So I thought, you know, hey, I'll do a little quick deal. It's, you know, he didn't even want that much for it, so I did a deal. I took it frog hunting a lot. I mean, you guys have seen me out there killing frogs with that thing over the years. I killed the heck out of frogs with a recurve. I've never actually taken it deer hunting. I think it was last year or the year before. I was on some post, or it was a reel, and some dude was shooting a bottle, whatever. But he shoots and hits the rim, shatters the whole bottle. People lose their fucking mind like he did something, and I'm just like, that's not anything special. I know any recurve hunter I know can shoot a bottle and break it. Any one of them. So there was nothing special there, and they were acting like he did something. I'm like, no, I think the trick shot is to shoot it through the hole and not break the rim. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to break the back half, obviously, but shoot through the hole and not break the rim, that would have been a trick shot. So obviously I got some phlegm from a bunch of flimsy men, and I decided to troll their asses. So if you guys haven't seen Glass Hole Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, I advise you go see Glass Hole Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 on YouTube. They are hilarious. I think I more enjoy doing funny shit anymore. I think I'm going to try to get back into doing skits and stuff. Me and Caden used to write them down all the time. I've got a ton of skits wrote out. A ton of just funny little stuff, you know. I was a class clown growing up. I'm a comedian by nature. It's just who I am. Like 9 times out of 10, if you're around me and we're hanging out, you're laughing, you're having a good time. You take it way back, even to like back when me and Dylan Bridwell used to hunt all the time together. You may not have seen it in the stand all that much on camera, but dude, we were dying laughing almost every time we were in the tree stand. I don't even know what we would be talking about. We're just talking shit, cracking up. We'd calm down real fast because we'd see a deer and we'd pop up, shoot the deer, go back to being an idiot. We're like, how did that? We were just being stupid and loud and a deer comes in. But yeah, this is good old days back whenever people were people. I don't even know what the hell people are now. They're just zombies walking around, getting by until they die. Kind of sad world. I always said I didn't want to live like this, where you just feel like you're an adult and you don't fucking want to do anything else. You just work and you're tired and you know what I mean? Like I get to the point where, oh, I got a day off, but man, I'm exhausted. I just ain't had a break. And in the heat, you know, like it ain't the old me. The old me would just work until I was exhausted, but I could not wait for that break to go fishing or hiking or anything but being home. So yeah, a lot's changed in the last several years. It's a sad reality to me, but it is what it is. It's part of life. I'm going to hopefully come out of this slump. I've started recently working on a diet because backtrack. I got myself into like peak physical condition back in 2018, 2019. And just through struggle and life and just bad luck, a lot of crap, I ended up eating a lot of crappy food. And then she cooks a lot. So the wife is a very good cook. She cooks at least once a day for me. Not that I asked, sometimes I do. But not that I ask her to. She's just that good of a person. She likes to take care of her kids. She likes to take care of her man. That's how a woman should be. Same with me. I take care of them. They take care of me. It's just how that goes. But basically, my metabolism is so fucking slow that I have to eat like either once a day or once every other day, or I gain weight. That's just how it is. It sucks. It's not good for me. It's a pain in the ass. I've never been that person that could eat whatever the fuck I want. It's never happened. If I eat whatever the fuck I want, I pay for it the next week. I feel like shit. I gain weight. Blah, blah, blah. Well, over the course of 6 years, I gained not all of my weight back. I'm about 20 pounds shy of the heaviest I was. So not bad, but not good. Not where I want to be, not where I feel happy, not where I feel comfortable, not where I feel like me. So I started working on myself again, started working on my diet. I'm slowly getting back into my workouts. Like used to, I do 2-a-days or every day or just whatever. And now I'm most days I'm working out. Not profusely yet. I'm trying to wean my body back into its old self, which actually I do seem to have good genetics on that case, on that front, because naturally if I start working out, I start building. So I haven't done much, but I'm starting to build already, so I'm going to keep up with that. I'm going to start cutting back on a lot more carbs. I'll be cutting off coffee here soon. Yesterday was a liquid fast, including coffee throughout the day. We'll do the same today. Liquid fast, including coffee. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to eat a meal and then go to bed. And then once I've done that a couple times, I'm going to jump back into actual 2-3 day fasts, just because I know my body can do it easily. It's literally how I'm built. I think just by nature, if I was out in the wild and all this didn't exist and whatnot, my metabolism is built as a hunter. I got to earn my food. If I don't get it one day, not a big deal. I store it very easily. It's just this machine was built for that. It's like a coyote. You may not eat every day, but I'm going to have the energy to keep moving and look. So that's just how it is. I've always been the guy to go the extra mile. We live in Indiana, so the extra mile is about all you got, but that's what I've always done. I've took a lot of people on my treks, and they've been like, man, this is a lot of hiking, but that's what you got to do for big deer. So back into the recurve talk. I know I'm jumping around. It's just what I'm going to do because I'm scatterbrained. And it's super early. But so I got this one. Love it. I've never unstrung it. It's never twisted. It's never done anything weird. Whatever. My new one, it was a ILF, I think was the model. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been working on it a little bit. The only thing I need now is some string silencers, and then I'm going to shoot it consistently. I've put a few rounds through it. A few arrows. Very good shooting bow so far. I like it. I just need, like I said, I need those string silencers to take away that vibration and that dong sound it has, that kind of boom. It's too much noise when you shoot, so I want to get it as quiet as I can. I want to get as comfortable as I can. I'm going to try to go, this season, I'm going to deer hunt with the recurve. Most of the time my shots are inside of 30 anyways, so I'm going to try to get them inside of 20. No, I'm not super confident, but I did do that glass hole challenge, if that's what you want to call it, where, I mean, you could see I was shooting really good consistently. I was breaking the bottles, dinging it off the bottles. I mean, nearly perfectly going through the hole, just cracking the tip, and I did finally get it without breaking any of the front of the glass, and I still have that bottleneck because I think it's cool. But yeah, so I'm confident in that aspect, but in the actual aspect of in the moment, with self-filming and all that, will I be able to put on a good, clean shot? I'm going to put in enough practice to feel more confident with that. We'll find out how that goes. But yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I really do. I feel like backwards is correct. Like taking the technology back just a little bit. Like even Fred Bear, when he was talking about the compound, about how great it was, he probably would have hunted with a compound. Judging by what I seen, how he talked about it, basically it came out too late in his life, but I think he would have been an avid compound bow hunter, just the same as he was a recurve bow hunter. And you can look at that any way you want, but just judging it, you can go back on YouTube, there's a video of him before he died when he was pretty old, where he goes through every bow that he's used or had a part in, whatever, from the first one all the way to the compound, and he goes through the whole thing. And whenever he talks about the compound, he talks about it like it's something. So I honestly do think he would have. But in my experience, in my life, with pins and all that, my eye, if you guys have followed me, for those of you who do, it's been 3, maybe 4 years now. I was coming up a tree stand and a stick had come with me, and I don't use the lights, so I didn't see this stick. And I was in my climber. I'm at the last spot. I leaned down. I think I was getting the rope to pull my backpack or my bow up. When I did that, that stick was like right there, and I leaned right into it and stabbed my right eye, which is my shooting eye. And I didn't know what was going on. It was just hot liquid coming out of my face. So I thought I was bleeding really bad. I thought like I had punctured something. Whole face is like wet. I'm like wiping it, and like trying to clear it, you know what I mean? I'm like almost panicking because I can hear deer at the same time walking around me. And there's a point, I don't think it's on camera, but there's a doe underneath my tree smelling where everything was, not 10 minutes before that. And I'm still trying to clear my eye to get a shot. She ends up getting past me, and I turn around, and there's another one like 20 yards, 25 yards, slightly quartered. And I just cleared my eye a little bit, drew back, and I absolutely smoked her. She went like 30 yards. And then I had to get down. My eye was killing me. I knew she went down, so I went and found my buddy. I was like, dude, I stabbed my eye. I don't know how bad it is. He was like, it looks pretty bad. We went and found my doe, gutted her, dealt with it, went back home. Ended up, everybody was like, hey, you should probably go see an eye doctor or something. So went to an eye doctor, found out I had lacerated my eyeball pretty bad. And I swear to this day there is like a piece of stick or bark, something in my eyeball, because I still feel it like kind of right above my pupil, off of the actual like cornea, just above in the white area, I think. But that's just where it feels. It could be thick scar tissue, I don't know. But it's a pain in the ass. It fucks with my vision. Some of the time I'll be sitting there and then it'll just go blurry. It's hard to see, and I gotta like mess with it and get it to come back, and it's too much of a hassle in the moment when your adrenaline spikes and all that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's going to cause that to blur up, and I'm sitting here trying to draw back and focus through two little holes. It's not fun. So I think going back is a good option for me, and I'm going to try it at least for this season and see how it turns out. The only thing I think might be a struggle is where my food plot is, where Lily killed her bird and Jax killed his little half-rack buck. I think it'd be kind of hard for a recurve because they're so tall, and I shoot at a slight tilt, so I just think it'd be kind of hard in a blind to get that done. So I may have to build a bigger blind or something, because I know there are good deer that work that area, like really good deer. Last year I messed up and I had trail cameras in there, and I don't run cell cameras yet. I've not convinced myself to do it. I'm trying not to. I think it's lazy. I honestly, the only reason I would do it is because everybody is doing it. Like, it doesn't matter where I went, on public or on my buddy's private, whatever. I found cameras everywhere this year, and they were all cell cameras. There are no regular cameras out anymore, except for mine. I got like 20 or 30 regular cameras, and that's the kind I like to use. That's because I'll put 5 to 8 cameras per property, because here's a scrape, there's a big ravine, there's a scrape. You're going to have, if you have 2 ridges and a big ravine in the middle, there's a pretty high probability that that area is ran by multiple different bucks and not just one buck doing a loop. So I like to figure that out. I put multiple trail cameras all the way around. I don't have a lot of time to piddle. I've got me, Tiffany, 5 kids, and usually a friend or something will be involved. The last couple turkey seasons, I've dedicated more time away from taking like myself or Tiffany or the kids, and I've took Caden, and this includes bow season too, and that backfired because he bails on me the second he gets what he wants, and that's not fair to us. So it is what it is. I cannot donate any more of my spare time over the years to situations like that until after. So from here on out, my kid, or myself, my wife, my kids were top priority. My nephew was like a son to me, but you can't get what you want and then bail the whole time, me telling you, I'm here for you, but you got to be here for me. You know what I mean? Because that, with the kids and life, the only way for me and Tiffany to ever get to hunt together is for us to have a babysitter or something. So we don't have a lot of that. We don't have a lot of people that are here for us. We don't have people out here offering constantly to help. But we do have a lot of people that are real quick to take advantage of us. So that part we're putting a stop to. We are focusing on us. It is our time, and no more kissing ass, no more helping other people, no more, oh, hey man, it's been a while. I'm real tired of that. Like, I don't know how it is out west. It seems like a lot of you guys in other channels and other brands, whatever, you guys are so jipper, and you don't seem to have a lot of people that use you and abuse you. But here in Indiana, it seems like a lot of the people want what they can get out of you, and then it's fuck you. So I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I've always been one, even if I'm tagged out, I'm taking other people. Anybody can attest for that. Multiple people have bucks on their walls because of me. If you think that's a lie, you can go fuck yourself. Because I have literally gave up bigger bucks than I have on my wall for people that probably are not very deserving of what they got. They definitely aren't as appreciative. I've never felt like they cared afterwards what I did for them, putting them on my deer or on deer that I had permission to hunt or whatever. You know what I mean? Ultimately, you just learn over the years. Some people want what you have or can get and don't want to give anything back. So that's cut off. Get lost. Don't ask me. Don't message me. That's weird behavior. Other than that, I'm ready for deer season. I have been itching to get back out. I know a lot of you that do follow me understand that I have had a couple rough years. It's not been easy. Ended up with a decent little buck in 23. I got a button buck last year, so you can imagine I'm itching for an actual nice buck. Being a taxidermist, I don't do very many. Actually, I haven't taken any in a while, but the ones I do usually are pretty nice bucks. So if I'm seeing a buddy bring his buck in, I'm like, man, I'm a little jealous, but that's part of it. That's one reason I don't do commercial taxidermy like that anymore. I just don't want to deal with other people's awesome trophy whenever I'm out struggling to get one. So yeah, I probably won't be doing a whole lot of taxidermy for other people, but I will be doing some taxidermy videos for y'all, start to finish. Whitetail shoulder mounts. I'll probably do obviously some turkey fan mounts and stuff. I've been doing a little bit here and there for like reels and stuff. We're going to do a lot of fishing still this summer. Whole lot of fishing coming. I don't know how much of it I'm going to film. I don't know. I really haven't had the urge to film much lately. Even this, I'm just filming because, hey, it's been a minute. Figured I'd update you guys, update anybody that cares, you know. I like to say fans, but there's really not that many, so they're not fans. They're more like friends. Yeah, it's just a slow process. We're going to get this thing to take off. We're going to start we're going to put more funny videos out, a lot of skits coming your guys' way. We got some bigger projects I'm not going to mention, other than mentioning them. But yeah, I'm working on some other stuff I'm going to put out. It's out of the ballpark for what I'm used to. Just trying to grow as a person, trying to be a new me, trying to change my life. I've been doing tattoos for 20 years now. It has been stressful. If you can imagine getting half a dozen to a dozen messages per day for 20 years of people telling me that they don't know what they want, essentially is what happened for 20 freaking years. People, I don't know how big, I don't know this, I don't know. If I ask you all these questions to figure something out and you never tell me the answer to any of them, it frustrates me. You're wasting my time, you're wasting my effort. I've got to the point most of this year where I don't even open messages for like 2-3 days in a row. Like, I'll have messages just stacking up and I'm like, man, I do not want to deal with going through the whole process and pricing this for someone to leave me on red after hours of dealing with them, or to draw something up and them never show up, or to set up and they never show up and I gotta throw shit away. It got old. So it's just, I'm to that point now where you throw that on top of all the filming and all the editing, the fishing, the hunting, turkey, deer, waterfowl, coyote, fox, elk. I mean, I did 2 elk trips. I mean, just a lot of people have no idea I have a life outside of the filming. I don't just sit around. I don't just edit. I literally, if I'm not working, and I have the energy, which is slowing down, like I said, but over the years it has been go, go, go for so long that I'm pooped. And yeah, I want to try to step back, relax, get all these burps out, because they choose to come out right when I turn the camera on every time. I don't notice myself burping nonstop unless I'm talking to the camera. But yeah. It's dripping on me. It's been a good life. It's not been a great life, but it's been a good life. Worked hard, chased dreams, fought a lot of, we're not going to say demons, just a lot of naysayers and a lot of you can't do that, you can't do this. I'm a dream chaser. I don't want to work for someone. I don't want someone to tell me what to do, and if I don't do it up to their standards, they get shitty with me. I didn't like that. I worked for my dad growing up. That's one of the most stern people I've ever worked for, who I was his kid, so he could get on to me very easily. But I did concrete since I was 8. He still has me come do jobs from time to time. I'm now 34, so you can imagine that is a long time to be doing concrete, editing, hunting, fishing, filming. I don't know how many videos we have up. There was at one point like around 300, and I deleted a few because YouTube was basically restricting me. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be copyrighted and restricted all the time. I'm just going to delete those videos and we'll try to avoid that. So yeah, I've changed some things up. YouTube's changed some things up. Now you can actually go to the audio library and use some of their instrumentals and get less copyright that way. They've changed a little bit of the rules on speech, so you can get away with a little bit more as far as actually speaking, which is your fucking First Amendment right. But the rest of that, you say something slightly out of line and they're like, whoa, you better just delete that because we're communists. So yeah, you don't have free speech here in YouTube. You do have to watch what you say or you could be banned. I've not been banned, luckily. Rumble just doesn't have the views. I do have videos on Rumble, but I'm not getting anywhere near the interaction that I get with YouTube. So I'm going to keep doing that. And apparently I'm going to say about 400 million times because I'm retarded. But that's okay. Being retarded is okay. You get a check for it these days. You know I'm right. Anyways, what else we got? The Indiana Rock Show, or whatever it's called, was at the 4-H Fairground. It's still happening today. For those of you who are going to see that, you can go buy you some rocks or go buy you some fossils. They got a little bit of everything. They got shark teeth. I've seen some bear jaws there. They got trinkets, necklaces, fake arrowheads, whatever you could come up with, they got it. It was actually pretty fun. If I was rich, I would be poor because I would have spent it all there, and that's bad. So I'm not rich, that's why, probably. I got a couple things for the kids. The only thing I got for myself was like a little, I don't know if it's resin or what, but it was a little axolotl. Thought that was cool. I'm a big axolotl fan. My daughter got a little one. Jack's got a really big arrowhead. He's really big in arrowheads, which is awesome. I was really big in arrowheads as a kid. We have Cherokee and Blackfoot in my bloodline, and it's just one of those things. There was a good point in my life where that is the only thing I worried about. Like I have tattoos and everything to represent that part of my heritage, and yeah, so there was a long time where I was just obsessed with arrowheads. I was obsessed with Native American culture, and my son by nature is just drawn to it. I don't push it. I don't put nothing. We don't even have no Native American stuff on the walls right now. Our walls are pretty bare, actually. We need to hang up some decoration. I think we just moved in and we were so worried about getting this room done, and this, and just having a little bit of comfort that we didn't worry about putting things on the wall like pictures and certain decorations to make things more homey. But we're going to do that. It's just not happened yet. But yeah, so the rock show's going on. It's pretty cool. If you guys like that kind of stuff. There's little arrowheads, there's big arrowheads. Hell, there was arrowheads for $1. Like regular sized arrowheads for $1. They're homemade, like some dude made them, but you could buy those. I could buy a dozen of those. I could spend $12, tax free, and I'd have a dozen points that I could essentially put on an arrow and go out and actually kill something. And I thought about it, but I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. It'll be around next year. Seen some stuff that I just thought was cool, and it kind of was a new eye-opener for me. I'm a big fossil guy. I'm always looking for fossils when I'm in the creek, when I'm walking trails, whatever. Everything from, the little common plant life fossils to whatever else I can find. Brain fart. Total brain fart on what they're called. But, yeah, so I'm big in fossils. I've seen a lot of fossils that I would like to find myself. And going to that show, in my opinion, opened my eyes to the fact that I didn't want to buy fossils. I don't want to buy one because it looks cool. I don't want to buy it because it's what I want to find. I want to go find my own. I want to go. It means more to me. I've got a barrage of fossils around this garage. They're just a part of me. It's just another aspect of things I love. It's a part of nature, it's a part of history, and it's a part that is completely... There's a lot of hypothesis and a lot of theories around a lot of it, and I think with my background I'm allowed to, or I allow myself to dive in a different aspect than what these people do who don't spend any time in the woods, who haven't spent any time in the woods. There are people
who have never skinned modern animals. They don't know what the bones look like. They don't know anything about them. The only thing they know is the old bones, and then they make assumptions based off what they were taught in college and what they think they know. And I've seen some of the stuff, not all of it, obviously some people do know what they're talking about, but I've seen some of it and I've thought, man, you got no idea how animals live. You don't know how they live now, so you have no idea what they would have done then. I have an idea now, so I have an idea then. And basically there's just a lot of that. A lot of me seeing some weird, oh, this is how it goes, and then you're like, no, that's not what these do at all. That's basically the same exact animal, 1,000 years apart. So your assumption, in my opinion, can be wrong. And like I said, these are people that don't leave a lab. They don't go outside. They don't do anything. And here's another thing. It doesn't exactly have to do with that, but I'm on a lot of bird pages because, like I said, I'm looking for these anomalies. I'm looking for these leucistic, these white, these albino, these piebald. I'm looking for color phases, anything out of the ordinary, any mutations, and I save them. And when you put yourself in all these other groups, you're able to see a lot more different animals or different people. You're getting a wider spread net to catch these. Well, what you get with birders, most birders are either on their porch or they're in little groups going to a state park and walking down the road and taking pictures of what birds they see. That's cute. That's not real life. That's not, you're not getting off the beaten path. You know what I mean? So you're not going to find what, say, 95% of outdoorsmen are going to find when they're sitting for hours in one spot, way back in the timber, way back in the field, way back in the marsh. The things you're going to see are the truth. Not next to the road, next to a crop in Yellowwood and Bloomington, where you're going to see GMO-fed animals. You're going to see a lot of leucistic birds in that area. Okay? So what you see is a lot of these people, oh, there's a lot of leucistic, there's always been. No, there's not. Anybody that says leucistic has always been is an absolute jackass. Fragments, there's one. 20 years later, there's one. 5 years later, there's one. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Growing up, it would have been front page news. We didn't have Facebook and all this, but it's front page news if anywhere in the state someone killed a white deer. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. Nowadays you get on Facebook, you see 9 or 10 of them, you keep scrolling. It's not a big deal. You've seen it for the last 5 years constantly. You see leucistic eagles, leucistic red-tailed hawks. There was a pink owl, pink grasshoppers. I've got a leucistic squirrel. I've got a piebald squirrel or leucistic. It's either way. It's a toss-up. I had another one. You guys didn't get to see the video of that. It's not done. I'm hoping I can get that one. I grazed him and I didn't get him, so he's still out there. I did get him on camera and see him another time. So that's still a possibility. But what I'm saying is these people are living in a bubble and they think that's the whole thing. We're out spreading out. We see more. I'm very observant. I'm looking for birds when I'm deer hunting. You know what I mean? I'm looking for anything. If I see a white animal go by, I'm like, is that a natural white animal? Or is it another leucistic or piebald animal? And yeah, I've seen a lot of it. And the bird community is full of idiots who live on Facebook and think that their little experience and their little bird groups where they walk down the road or walk down a trail or go to Brown County State Park or whatever, they think that's it. But that's not it. The real it is everywhere. When you've spread your net out, you've gone way back in the timber, you've sat for hours, not 5 minutes, you didn't walk with a group of people, you know what I mean? I've seen the real side of it, and all those GMOs from the crops, they've affected everything. All that runoff goes down into the groundwater, all that makes it to the creeks. That's affected everything. We're now seeing the leucistic, which you now get the leucistic with the birds because the big birds eat fish. They eat those animals. They eat the lower ecosystem, and then they became that, or their offspring become that, however it works. I think turkeys took the biggest blow because turkeys have their eggs and spend most of their time in the poisoning of the fucking crops time frame where they come in, they spray everything down, they kill all the bugs, they kill all the plants, then they come in and they till that over. If they don't burn it, most people don't burn it, they just till it over. So those turkey live in that aspect. Whatever critters did live, the turkey are eating. Wherever their eggs are, the turkey are there. They're laying in that solution or chemical or whatever. It's not safe. It's 100% not safe. And I noticed a lot of people didn't jump on anything. We did find the link to prove that there were illegal pesticides being involved during the Biden administration, which is the time frame when all this started happening. There was no jump. We have the proof. We know for a fact it did happen now. I was guessing the whole time that it was pesticides. Most people, it's on video, most people that have talked to me knew I was saying I think it's the pesticides. It's focusing mostly around crops. The places it's not focusing around crops is around the water that comes from the crops, and it could be 2 states away. We have a lot of issues, is what I'm saying. There's a lot going on, a lot of problems, and there are just far too many people going, oh, well, that's completely normal. We've always had leucistic. Oh, that's completely normal. Piebald always happens. It happens on this scale, naturally. It doesn't happen on this scale naturally. You've expanded the scale to the point that common people, like people in town who don't go outside, now have squirrels with white tails in their backyard. And they think, oh, this is normal now. It's not normal. It's never going to be normal. It's poison. It affects the pigment of their fur. It doesn't affect the pigment of their skin, from what I can tell from animals that I've actually taken with these issues. It's literally the fur. So it's what is growing from them is off. But there's a lot of other problems like purple antlers and underbite, overbite, antlers growing next to their eyes and stuff. There's a lot of it. The only thing natural in all the mutations I'm seeing seems to be that whitetail are starting to have canines. And that's it's not like a crazy thing, because many deer species have ivory or teeth in that area. So it's not like something that can't happen. It's a genetic that either was there or is being there. But it's happening. It's mutation or evolution, but it is 100% happening. And it's the only thing out of all the mutations that I think is natural. But it is what it is. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where people give a fuck. I think they're just going to let it fly over like they do everything else. And until it affects them at their doorstep, they don't fucking care. So, I don't know. In my years, I felt like I was getting better at hunting, while at the same time, it appears I'm getting worse. Like I'm having a harder time getting bigger bucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not that picky. Pretty much 130s, 140s, 150s is in trouble most of the time. Unless I have like a 160 on camera, then I'm going to hold out. But, there was a good one. But, yeah. I don't know. I just noticed in the last few years it kept getting harder and harder. I killed one in December. I think I had a bad year. And then I killed another one in December, if I remember right. I don't know, the years are all getting scattered together now. Or crushed together, whatever you want to call it, compressed. What else we got to talk about? It's been a minute. Like I said, so I don't know what all I've talked about with y'all. I just knew a few things I wanted to come out and talk about, like Mike Lee being a bitch. Everybody needs to know Mike Lee is a bitch. No matter what happened, he was trying to take our land. He met with hunters or outdoorsmen and was supposed to fix it and made it worse, more sleazy, more sneaky. So even though that got thrown out in the end, he still tried. So he's still a piece of shit. That person has no place in our government. You have to remember, just because it didn't get passed doesn't mean he wasn't a sleazy cunt. He's still a bitch. So people like that, we don't need. I don't know if Trump knew about that. I feel like he should have, but I've been watching all the speeches and hoping he would mention it. The liberals are fucking loving it. I mean, the liberals, they get so many L's that when there's a chance of a W, when there's a chance they were right about something, they're like, oh, see, whole time, oh, your daddy Trump. You know what I mean? Like, these fucking idiots. We voted for Trump because he clearly doesn't fuck with the bullshit. He doesn't fuck with the corruption, doesn't fuck with the ignorance. He grew on us like that. He felt like one of us, kind of like a rich one of us, but he felt like one of us. And essentially he was speaking for a lot of us. But I'm no puppet. If the man would have done that and knew about it, I would no longer be pressing for anything Trump. It was that simple. It's that big of a deal to me. Public land sells, and it wasn't even public land here in Indiana. I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with here in Indiana. But I am a man of the people. We are all each other's fellow man. We are citizens of the same fucking country. The government is not our daddy. We are individuals. But those individuals needed our help. A ton of people here in Indiana and every other state, I'm sure, were calling, emailing, were throwing a fit. I was leaving some shitty messages because they weren't answering. So I got to a point was like, dude, you're taking from us. You're trying to take land, and that land is how we provide for our family without having to break the bank trying to buy meat at a fucking store. I told them it is, if you sell one single acre, we will no longer fight for you, we will fight you. And that's the way I view it. If you think you can take from the people, and this isn't just the people, outdoorsmen are the ones who make up most construction, they make up most of the road work, they make up most of the things that actually matter, the blue collar hard work. That's outdoorsmen who all mostly hunt, public land, private land, whatever. Public land is ours. That is our land together. I don't own, I've probably never been on any of the land they were going to sell. I've probably never seen it. May never see it in my life. However, there was like 3 million acres up for sale to what they said to take that money and cut the debt that they made. The debt that has nothing to do with any of us. The debt that they made with other countries and blah, blah, blah. So, it pisses me off. I'm not about that. I'm about us, even though I'm well aware us is not about me. Us is either about us or them. It's either about yourself or the group when it's affecting you as an individual. This doesn't affect me whatsoever. That had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with us. This is our land. So, yeah, I do have a problem with it. It did piss me off. And I'm aware of how people move, all right? So, to give you an idea of the difference in me fighting for public land that has nothing to do with me and how other people react with me, I'm not religious. I'm firmly against it these days. I grew up in it, okay? But I don't judge you, and I won't say, oh, fuck you, I won't be around you if you say you are religious. I don't care. If that's, I did the same thing when I was younger. I went through it, blah, blah. I don't fucking care what you believe in. I think it's ignorant, but I don't care. I'm not going to judge you and stop hanging out with you because of it. However, if I go on here like I am right now, and I say, oh, I don't believe in that, you can believe whatever you want, they're going to judge me, look at me different. Oh, he's fucking crazy. I'm the crazy one who doesn't have an imaginary friend like you. But they're looking at me now negatively. Oh, he doesn't believe in that stuff. He's the crazy one. So then I'm viewed as lesser to a lot of these people who, their whole fucking personality is religion. Without religion, they're either a complete piece of shit or lost. There's not a whole lot of people that have like actual guidance of their own without some religious mindset behind it, where they have to have, oh, I'm doing this for God, or oh, I got to do this, and God, oh God, blah, blah, blah. No, not me. I'm not into that, and I'm not into judging you to that go fuck yourself extent. I'm going to judge you as in, I think it's weird, I've already been through it, I already know what it is, I already know it's a lie. But that's you. If you want to believe it, this is your life. You can fucking do whatever you want. Don't press it on me and I won't press it on you. The same feeling a lot of people have, they're compelled to tell someone, oh, this is about Jesus and you should, because you're compelled to convince them to be religious with you. I'm the opposite. I'm compelled to convince you I don't think any of it's real. I think you're wasting your time. The reason the Native Americans fought so hard and most of them died was because they were connected to the land. And then a lot of the Europeans, or whatever you want to call them back then, because they were pretty much still European, they were pretty avid about it's this way. It's religion, nothing. They burned down everything they could find that had anything to do with them actually keeping record of what they believed in. And they didn't believe that these people were connected to the land. They were. They're 100% connected to the land, the same as a deer, a cow, a bird, all these animals, even the trees. They know when it's going to rain. They know when it's going to be a drought. They know when they need to eat, what they need to eat, what minerals, what vitamins they need. They know how to get it out of specific plants. They just know. They know the whole year as it's happening. Instinct, as we call it, is their connection. Instinct is the direct connection from one being to the planet, your actual creator. It's only crazy if you're a Looney Tune who still believes in characters. But, again, I get judged heavily for not believing anymore and then saying this stuff that sounds crazy to people who don't think. They just believe what they were brainwashed to believe from a child, and in the back of their mind, they're thinking right now, that makes sense. They're thinking, you got a point, but the religious part of them is stabbing it with a sword. He doesn't have a point. No, can't be right. You walk outside as a human being, completely detached. Watch as the animals disperse around you. The birds, the deer, everything runs from you. However, a squirrel and a rabbit might run from you, but a deer, which is nearly the same exact size as us, they'll frolic right next to each other. I'm just saying, they're connected. They understand this. They understand grounding. They understand their actual creator instinct telling them do this, do this, do this. Specific times of the year have all different things. It's not the deer going, oh, I remember this. They're born, they stand up, they know to suck on a tit, they know where that tit is, they know to jar their head when they do it. If you've never watched a baby fawn deer drink milk from the mom, it is nearly violent. They're like headbutting their udders, but they know this, like that, the second they're born. It's just written in their DNA, and then instinct is like, this is coming, prepare for this. This is coming, prepare for this. If they know it's going to be a bad winter, what do you see? They pack on the fat. You'll kill a doe, she'll have that much fat on her hindquarters. Call me crazy if you want, people already do. But I'm just saying, that's what I'm compelled to talk about. You're compelled to tell what you think is real. The storybook, the man-written chapter after chapter after chapter. I've read it all. I know what it is. I know what they say, how they manipulate, how they give you a line. It's like, man, yeah, that sounds good. If I do that, my life will be better. It sounds good because it's meant to make you feel something. It's meant to make you manipulate yourself. When you detach yourself, as religion prefers you do, from nature, you detach yourself from instinct. Once you've detached yourself from instinct, you are no longer connected to the earth. The Native Americans were still connected. That's why they fought tooth and nail. That's why I'm compelled now, sitting here, staring at a camera, knowing I'm talking to whoever's on the other side of the YouTube click, saying, this guy might be crazy, or this guy might have a point. To each their own. I don't care. You could be religious, you don't have to be. You can do whatever you want. You can believe what I want, or what I believe, or you can believe what you have been told your entire life to believe by other human beings who put it in a book and wanted their name in it. That's on you. I don't care. But, like I said, I get judged like that. So I think it's the same for this. Like, a lot of people, they're going to favor what they believe in, and then say they love watching my hunts or whatever, but they don't believe in my views. They're just like, oh, eventually a religious person will just be like, no, I don't want to watch him anymore. He's always talking about Earth and connected, and he's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. You're like, all right, here's a little drama for you. It has nothing to do with that, but kind of. Like the Liver King. Dude's a little crazy. Obviously, that's how he got popular, was being a little crazy, a little wild. Shock factor. That's what gets your attention. Him eating raw liver and shit. Shock factor. Eating balls. Shock factor. It's all about clickbait. He got millions from doing it, so clearly it worked. The dude's not crazy. He's not insane. He's a man who was talked about by another man, and it wasn't that bad until the end. If you watch where Joe Rogan is talking about him, about the peds and all that, and him not being natural, he ended up having a video where he came out after everything came out and was like, I was on steroids, sorry. Pretty sure he cried in that video. He fucked up. I think he let the money go to him, and to stay that size at that age, I think he started whatever. Or maybe he always did, who knows. Either way, Joe hysterically laughed at the apology video. It's not the original making fun of him and saying he lied, whatever. I don't think that affected him. But the apology video at the end, where he's giving his spew and Joe's just cracking up at the video, I think that's where Liver King was like, I would like to have my say. I would like to speak with Joe. It could be a podcast, whatever. So then he started going to events and stuff. I don't know if he ever actually tried to be there to meet up with Joe, or if he was just being at the same events, but it's edited in videos to make it look like he was there specifically to get with Joe. Not like that. But so they get together, whatever. Don't get together. They're just together in the same events and never talk. I think Joe's being I'm a huge Joe fan. So before this goes crazy, I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. Always have been, from way back in the day UFC, way back in the day Fear Factor, all the way to tons of I've watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of his podcasts. I mean, if he has someone, especially with archaeology or whatever, especially that kind of stuff, I'm watching it. I'm glued to it. I've watched Joe himself go from a liberal to what seems to be a pretty good, I will say he's a Trump supporter now. I didn't want to say that, but I think he is. We've seen him change. And this is in the last 8 to 10 years. A man that old has changed that much in the last 8 to 10 years, from liberal to being a man and seeing the truth. Okay. And he was taught hunting, I think, in the last 8 to 10 years, roughly. Maybe a little bit longer. So Joe is becoming more of a man as we go. He's stepping out of that human aspect of being in crowds and shows and whatever, and he's doing real shit. And you can see the difference. He definitely loves hunting. It's a real thing. You love hunting because it's a part of us. You're supposed to love it. But he's just done these things that's, it's just Joe. It's like, oh, he's doing whatever. But eventually he changed, and I think he unjustifiably was laughing at Liver King's video of his apology for using steroids and pressing that he wasn't lying about steroids all these years, because he claimed that he never did steroids prior to that. He's in his 40s or whatever, but the dude's, his workouts are absolutely insane. I watched JP, I watched his videos, I watched him go do the workout. He said they're insane. I don't think Joe Rogan could finish one of Liver King's brutal workouts. And that's not saying anything negative to Joe. I just think he should have talked to this man already, and this would have never been a thing. He should, in my opinion, he should have him on the podcast. If you guys are so confident that Joe can 100% for sure beat Liver King in, most people are saying, grappling or spinning back heel kick, because that's the only fucking two things they know about him, and that's the only two things they know about fighting is what they've heard. So they think he can for sure do either of those to Liver King. I personally think it'd be a really good fight. They're both in good condition. Liver King is brutally strong, does brutal workouts. I don't know if he's trained. I don't know if he's trained at all. I'm sure he's got a little bit of training or he wouldn't be so confident. But Joe has ground training. He has some training on the feet, but he didn't compete. I don't think he competed through his 20s, 30s, or 40s. So he hasn't competed in 3 decades. That would be a cool, even if they did a grappling match. Yeah, Joe would probably win a grappling match for sure. But the dude is so strong that he's grappling that there's a chance Joe Rogan loses and proves absolutely every one of you wrong. Because in a fight, anything can happen. Or in a grappling match. I've seen it. I've literally been like 100 and I think I was like 110, 111 and 0. And then a buddy of mine just caught me in a choke that I couldn't get out of. I was underneath him and I wasn't choking, but I was breathing armpit hair, which was disgusting, and I'm just stuck there. Like I couldn't get out. He had my head and I was breathing armpit hair. I had to tap, which I literally sat there like you could see my arms. Like I don't know what to do. I'm just fucking stuck here. But after all those wins, you can lose. It's not out of the ordinary for someone to get caught. And that's the same thing with stand-up. It's not out of the ordinary for someone to get caught. Happens all the time. The shock factor happens all the time. You get shocked when you see someone knock someone out you didn't expect to win. Like Leon Edwards knocking out Usman. Who the fuck thought that was coming? Nobody, because he lost the whole fight up until the head kick. See what I'm saying? Anything can happen. But the uneducated people who don't do any MMA whatsoever have jumped on some comments of mine and tried to tell me I was wrong. I could whoop any one of their ass real easy. They know it. They won't admit it. They know it. But they have zero training. Zero. That's literally all I did through my teens was grapple and wrestle and training other people. And I mean, we would have whole days where 15 people would come to me and we would do just drills where basically I would tap out person after person after person, all of them bigger than me. Hardly anybody was like the exact same size as me. Some people had 100 pounds on me. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that's what you're viewing Joe as this person that can just grapple his way through life. Maybe, but I've never actually watched a video of Joe actually grappling a serious grapple match. I've never seen it. So just because he trains doesn't mean it's necessarily something that he can apply in a situation where adrenaline, where the fight process alters your mind. Whether you're grappling or get hit, it's different. Your adrenaline, your movement, your exhaustion, everything is going to play a part into it. And too many people like to seem to think that Liver King is just out of shape or something. The dude's decently big, but he's not as big as he looks because he's not that tall. He looks massive, but he's like my height. So, of course, he looks absolutely ridiculous when you have, what, I think he was like 100 and, I want to say, he mentioned a couple numbers, like 170s to 190s, roughly. So, he's almost my size now if I had no body fat and it was just muscle. Dude, the dude isn't, like, I am not in peak physical condition, but I could fuck somebody up in this state, like in fat state. I could fuck somebody up. I'm telling you, Liver King is not, he's not going to be a pushover. If they ever have a podcast, and I think just judging by the cops arresting Liver King, it kind of suggests Joe may have been scared or something. Obviously, he wasn't going to go kill him. That was not a thing. You people are absolute idiots to think a very wealthy YouTuber is going to go kill a very wealthy other YouTuber, podcaster, announcer, whatever you want to call him. It's not happening. He wanted to talk, and then he put $1 million on stake, like literally put $1 million. He said, I'll bet you $1 million for either a grappling, and I think he mentioned grappling. I don't think he actually mentioned a fight. And then people talk about, he say, oh, I'm going to kill you. Dude, in the UFC, my entire life, nearly every event, someone says something along the lines of, I'm going to kill you. That is fight talk. That's what people do. That's fight talk. Dude, what's Total Brain, Alex Pereira. He comes in, most of his thing is about shooting you with a bow. And then when he knocks you out, you know what I mean? Fucking, actually when he got knocked out, old boy shot him with his fake arrows. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an actual threat. A lot of them do the whole finger thing. Boo, 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 pa, 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 pa. You know what I mean? They're doing that to each other in the mix. You know what I mean? At the press conferences or in videos or whatever. They're not threats. That's fighters saying, I'm going to get you, and they're trying to rile them up. Conor McGregor. Did he ever kill him? No. He knocked him out, and he shook their hand in the end. Most of them, there's one or two that they just never got along, but most of them, after he won, he shook their hand. It was nothing but respect. Vicious things said prior didn't mean he was going to actually kill him. It's fight talk, you jackasses. But that's the world we live in. You got these idiots who jump on Facebook or other social media or even YouTube, and then they want to throw a comment like they've done something, or like they do this, or like they fought, or like they grappled. Shut up. You listened to the podcast and he told you what he can do. You've seen a video of him doing a spinning back kick on a bag, a non-moving target. Okay? That gives you time to plant where you need to be, you're practicing, and you kick the bag. It's not fucking hard. Anybody in the UFC can kick the bag nearly exactly as hard as Joe does now. Joe in the video was younger, okay? Kicking a body bag that is not a body person. It is not a human thing that can defend, move away, nothing. It's not that. So yeah, I do have a problem with people pretending they know what the fuck they're talking about, because that's all they've ever done, and then turns out you need to just shut up. You don't know. You don't fight, you don't grapple, you don't do any kind of jiu-jitsu, you don't do Muay Thai, you don't do fucking anything. Shut up. Don't pretend you know, don't act like you know because you watch a podcast and he told you that he has the strongest back kick in the world or strongest heel kick. Nope. Nope. That doesn't apply. Joe himself can come forward and tell you that a fight is different than training. You can train all you want. It doesn't matter. In that actual situation, you may not get any of that opportunity. You may never get the opportunity you need to land whatever you were practicing for your whole fight camp. Because the other person's also fighting to fight you. So they're training to train their body new to be different. So you're fighting a person who isn't necessarily going to be fighting the way they were fighting that you trained for to win. And that goes for grappling as well. You see someone do a lot of this, and then you actually train for that and go to grapple, you may have neutralized their ability to win. Just like a lot of people are, they could be absolutely devastating monsters. Just win, 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 win. And then one person who no one expected is their fucking kryptonite. It just is how it works. Look at Anderson Silva. Walking through everybody, cocky as hell, just jackassing around. You know what I mean? Forrest Griffin quit. Because he couldn't hit him. He even said like something about, he was thinking Anderson was like, look at this slow-ass white boy. Yeah, that's how it goes. They get cocky, and then somebody will catch them because they're kryptonite. Weidman was Silva's kryptonite. It's just how it goes. He beat him 2 times in a row. And then it was over for him. He was no longer this crazy champion that everybody feared and knew was just dominant. It was out of the question. So yeah, that's where I stand on that. I don't think I got a whole lot more to talk about, to be honest with you. I think we covered a lot of good points. Pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, and a little bit more probably. Like Lee's a hoe. Yeah, I think that's just about it. Got some more fishing videos coming up for y'all. I'm going to be getting, I say just about every week, I'm going to try to get at least one video out for you guys. I'm going to try to get back on the podcast a little bit more regularly for the people that actually care, people that actually want to watch them. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Or if you disagree and you want to come on and we can actually sit down and have a little talk, I'm cool with that too. I'm not one to just attack somebody because they want to talk about differences. That's just not how it is. Fighting is last resort, and it is only if necessary. It's not something I'm just like, I'm going to beat you up because you have a different opinion than me. No, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. There's a lot of people that have negative opinions of me. I'll talk to you too. They don't scare me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone. Sit in this chair next to me. Let's talk. Until the next time, I appreciate every last one of you, and I will see you on the next podcast or fishing video, or you will see me, hopefully, one or the other. And maybe if one of y'all want to come along, we'll do a fishing trip or something. Hit the comment section up. Let me know if you'd be down for something, or if you got anything you want to talk about, or if you want to be on, or if you disagree or do agree. But until the next time, love y'all. Have a good one. I will see you very soon. Adios.